On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. I hope everybody out there is having themselves an amazing day. This is an exciting day, folks. Huge, huge. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like. So I don't want to over-preface, and we're going to jump essentially right into it. But major stuff has recently gone down. Like a day after the whole Brennan thing happened, boom, something major comes out today. I'm going to share the link because it's, like my little brother got mad at me recently for not, it's like, sometimes you don't play all the videos. And I'm like, because sometimes they seem like they're too long. This one's over an hour long. I'm not playing it all. But we're going to look at a couple key parts right up at the beginning that is groundbreaking. Joe Biden is in bad shape. Brennan, over there in New York, South District, right? Southern District, was blocking stuff. We've got some stories around that. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Post 4496. This is a calling to all anons, folks. Stuff is going to be happening at probably lightning speed over the next short period of time. They are going to be moving things along, I think, at a bit more of a rapid clip. There is a lot of information that's going to come out. There's a lot of information that's going to be very telling against the deep state in the stuff that they've been doing, the nefarious actions that have been happening in the background. So digital warriors, ready yourselves. Surrenders to none. Again, all of us right now, this is time to get on the front end, trying to choose sides, as some people say. Again, love your fellow neighbor, even if you don't agree with them. But it's time to choose sides, and it's time to begin with the bold and brackets digital background, because that's kind of what's going to be going on. So where we go one, we go all. They, of course, reference this wonderful story here. Breaking. Trump says Obama may have committed treason, refuses to elaborate on specific charges. Now, first off, I love the way the deep state spins this story. I'm assuming the Hill is a little more on the left. I don't know, whatever, because the way it reads, it seems to be. But President Trump on Monday suggested without evidence. It's the key part. Without evidence. How often do they say, anonymous sources said Trump punched an old lady in the face? News at 11. Right? Like, that happens all the time. That's okay. Even though they give no evidence whatsoever, no sources, Russian collusion, no evidence, but there's gobs of it. They kept telling you, Rachel Maddow, hello, thank you such a good job. So President Trump on Monday suggested without evidence that his predecessor, former President Obama, committed treason in connection with the investigation of the 2016 Trump campaign's contacts with Russia. Treason, it's treason, Trump said. That was a direct quote. Look at that. He said that in a CBN news interview. CBN, someone says they're only on Fox. Look at this. He's on some other agency I've never heard of. The president did not elaborate on the specific charges, but repeated his assertion that the previous administration spied on his campaign in the course of the Russian probe. Now, what's funny about how all this works, and you've seen it, anyone that's been paying attention to the way that this whole Q thing's happening and the way Trump kind of drips information, this is the trolling. It's when he does this specific thing that he starts the trolling process. And it's awesome because he does this because they know exactly what he's talking about, but they don't know exactly what he knows for sure. That's what's killing them right now. They don't know. They don't have that back channel analysis. They're not spying on him directly. They don't know what he knows. So he's hinting. He's kind of doing that thing where, you hint that someone's done something wrong, and you act like I kind of know, but you don't exactly let them know what you know or how you know because you don't want to tilt your hand. So again, and now he's got all these people talking without evidence. Now they're all jumping in front of this, trying to head it off at the pass where they don't even know where it's going for sure. But the coolest part about every time they do this, like clockwork, Trump does this, he does this little thing, and then immediately the deep state starts spinning stuff. And in that process, they paint themselves into a corner every time. And then a little bit later, once they've painted themselves into a corner, then the Trump or the Patriots or whoever suddenly release, declass, do something that just screws the left deep state one more time. So again, this is coming. So this is a pre-boom. This is not the boom. No, there's a boom too. This is the pre-boom. That again, this is shot. For those of you that know how the speed of sound works, when a plane hits supersonic, it doesn't just go boom and then that's it. It continues to boom oftentimes. So you can continue to hear breaking of the sound barrier. So we've got some interesting stuff, I think, that's going to be coming soon. Post 4497. Until you wake up, we will fight for you. I think this is the coolest picture. It made me think of my family who currently kind of hates me right now because they think I'm weird and wacko. Whatever. I love them. Doesn't matter. It's okay. But This meme is perfect. And this is how I think Anons right now are kind of feeling, or at least this is how we're working. Even though there's other people in this great country of ours, fellow Americans, that maybe think the best path forward is to restrict all sorts of rights and to take away the Constitution. I get you. That's the direction they want to go. It's kind of communistic in its own ways. I got you. I disagree with it. It's never going to happen. But I love you anyway, you communistic friends of mine, you little red buggers. I love you guys. But until you wake up, until you realize that you're asleep at the wheel, probably, until that happens, we're going to fight for you. Even though you don't realize you need to be fought for. And even though in a lot of cases you wish we wouldn't, we're going to anyways. So memes prep, get your music prepped, organize, unite, prepare. There is a lot coming. I don't know if it's this week, next week. I think it's just going to crescendo up, I swear. Until the elections, every single week, I think, is going to start to stack on top of the next week. It's going to be like a Lego house by the time we're done with it. Post 4498. Digital Warriors ready, of course, again, kind of re-promoting that. Extremely damaging piece on the D's nursing home deaths. There's a really cool exclusive that's come out, and this is getting into how badly those 5 Democrats pushed COVID positive patients into the highest risk places, forced them to accept them, and then on top of that, refused to allow them to either ask if they had COVID or if they were COVID positive, or even they weren't even allowed to test to see if they were COVID positive. How do you protect the weakest people when you're forced to take potentially dirty people and you don't really know if they're dirty, so you don't know if your facility is capable to properly house them? How do you do that? Well, you pass laws like these 5 people do. So use topic as target practice. I love this. Test your strengths, know your weaknesses, adapt and overcome. So what they're saying here is this is the place to start having your arguments with the left. This is your place to start to go to town on this. This lady, Seema Verma, she is from the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the CMS, recently told Breitbart News exclusively that New York's Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo and other Democrat governors, and she calls all 5 of them out, originally issued guidance that contradicted federal guidelines for nursing homes battling the coronavirus. She even states even further, I just want to make it very clear that our guidance was absolutely crystal clear. That's Verma has said. It was clear and unmistakable. Any insinuation to the contrary is woefully mistaken at best and dishonest at worst. We put out our guidance on March 13th. Cuomo passed his March 31st. All these other are 15th. Either way, this came out before. Was it 15th? I'm forgetting the date. See, the 31st, the 15th. Anyway, it's around there somewhere. I'm actually going to read to you. It says, when should a nursing home accept a resident who is diagnosed with COVID-19? It says a nursing home can accept a resident diagnosed with COVID-19 and still under transmission-based precautions, which means if this person is infectious, you have to take precautions. It says as long as the facility can follow CDC guidelines for transmission-based precautions, then it says if a nursing home cannot, it must wait until these precautions are discontinued. Meaning, if you're not able to care for the patient, somebody is still positive and you're not equipped to care for that patient, then you shouldn't accept them. We had 5 governors that literally said, we're forcing you to take these people and you can't even ask us if they're in a bad place. So that's the thing that they're already pointing out, and this lady's getting in front of them getting in front of it. She's basically saying, look, when Cuomo tries to come out and say, well, look here, I don't think it was very clear on what their guidelines were, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no. It was crystal clear, buddy. Nice try. Ain't going to happen. Because if you try to go down that path, you're either ignorant or you're truly dishonest. And I don't know which sword you want to fall on, but you're going to have to fall on a sword. So again, another major boom. And this is what basically Q is saying is if you want to, warm up your flex your debate muscles, well, maybe this is the one that you might want to start having small discussions with people and just say, hey, why do you think these 5 particular governors happen to do this? And it happens to be the 5 governors of the 5 states that had the most number of deaths. Why do you think? I'm just curious. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to pry. So again, Information Warfare, $44.99. That's pretty exciting. Worth listening / reading. So this is this is the big boom, folks. This is a huge boom. Now, again, to my little brother, it's an hour and 18 minutes long. I'm not going to play all that. That would just be ridiculous. But there is some very cool stuff in here that I think is worthy of kind of checking out. Now, I'm going to do this without volume because it doesn't matter, first off. Second off, because there's subtitles, because these guys are speaking Ukrainian. And I don't know about you. I don't speak it. You might. I don't. So, hello, dear viewers and listeners, colleagues. Thank you for attending our press conference. Now, we want to announce the topic of our conference. Had an hour and a half conference. Our press conference is devoted to the topic, new details in the case of Burisma bribe, as well as new records of conversations testifying to international corruption and the external governance of Ukraine. What will be made public at this press conference, meaning follows. First, today we will make public the documents revealing new details in a high-profile case concerning the bribe made by the representatives of the former Minister of Ecology, Zlotowski, or whatever, and his gas company, Burisma, as well as the Biden family. Second, we will disclose records of telephone conversations between voices which appear to be Petro Poroshenko and Joseph Biden, testifying to the facts of international corruption and treason at the highest state level. Third, part of the conference will be devoted to the presentation of the colossal demo corruption network operating both in Ukraine and abroad. This network includes top officials of Ukraine and the USA, diplomats, officials, and many other involved in stealing billions of money of Ukrainian, I think it's their money, but I got to wait for this guy, and American citizens. So they stole money from both of us. During this press conference, from a legal point of view, in the slides and text, I ask you to understand the names Poroshenko and Biden as people whose voices appear to be the voices of the top officials of the Ukraine and United States acting at that moment. Now they get into some other great stuff. The millions of dollars. So there was initially $6 million taken. Initially there was supposed to be $50 million taken. Then it also even gets into that there was $1.5 billion taken from the Ukrainian government that was also used for this bribery. I haven't had a chance to watch all hour and 18 minutes of this. I guarantee you this is the one link that is below in my video for sure. This is huge. This is huge. And this, oddly, is what was being blocked, or one of the things that oddly was being taken care of in the Southern District of New York. Or should I say, should have been taken care of in the Southern District of New York. Now, you're saying, well, obviously these people have nothing to do with the Southern District of New York. This is them. You're right. You are right. But, oddly, Berman was just fired, right? Just fired. And they just came out with this information. Oh no, I've got one more trick up my sleeve. You may not see it, but it's in there. We got a cool little article coming up. The little humor goes a long way. Now, we're going to get to the other thing, but first I really, really want to interlude with something that is very freaking awesome. Extremely talented. This is fake. This is not real video. I want everybody to know this is not a real video. This is not Biden really saying these things. He had said these words. Someone put it together. They made it very creative again. Not a real video, okay? But I think this is the dude from Glee, by the way. That was one of the little guys that had a crush on another guy and whatever. But that being said, I don't really know I don't want to say words that are going to get me labeled, and then on the other side, I don't have any problem with that. I've been theater my whole life, so whatever. That being said, super cool video. We're going to check it out.
I have 2 shotguns at my home. They're locked in a safe. There's a metal gun case. We live in an area that's wooded, somewhat secluded. And I've said, Jill, if there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony and fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun. You don't need a machine gun. You don't need 30 rounds. Buy a shotgun. Buy a double-barrel shotgun.
You don't need a flamethrower, and you don't need a tank, and you don't need an AR-15 to scare those thugs away. No, and I don't need a grenade launcher, I don't need an F-15. There's just one thing I need to do, and they'll stay away from me.
Fire 2
blast outside the house. Buy a shotgun, buy a shotgun, buy a shotgun, buy a shotgun, baby. You don't need a machine gun, you don't need a machine gun, you don't need 30 rounds. Buy a shotgun, buy a double barrel shotgun.
I think that's freaking awesome, man. You gotta love that. So anyway, a little bit of humor, a little bit of light, but whoever did this is amazing. Yes, that's very true from the Cajun chick, trademark. If there ever was some problem, go out on the balcony and fire 2 blasts outside the house. Buy a shotgun. Buy a double barrel shotgun. That was freaking hilarious. So love that. Good stuff. Post 4502. Timing of the video release of 4500 and Berman termination. Here's where the second kind of comes in a little backstab there, right? Timing of the video in 4500. That was, of course, the Poroshenko, the Russian guys, right? And right, just watched that a moment ago. Now, coincidence? No, but you cannot attack your political opponent. The doubtsters will soon believe there's years in the making. And what is being shown here is very interesting. Fired New York prosecutor was given Biden-Ukraine allegations in 2018, but didn't follow up, is what emails show. Ukraine prosecutor didn't want the political spectacle that became impeachment and simply sought to turn over evidence about Joe Biden and election interference to U.S. prosecutors. Guess what U.S. prosecutor he turned that into? New York, Southern District, Brennan. Could the impeachment scandal have been prevented if the now fired U.S. Attorney Geoffrey Brennan had followed up on Ukrainian allegations about Joe Biden and his family in 2018? You got to throw it up there, right? The question. Yeet. That's the tantalizing question raised by emails from the fall of 2018 between the American lawyer and the chief federal prosecutor in Manhattan that were both obtained by the Just the News. So yeah, I guess it looks like maybe the guy was sitting on something that could have gotten Biden kind of exposed for the fraud that he is. Interesting that once this guy Brennan is out of the way, well, now suddenly we're seeing all sorts of cool things regarding these two guys. I'm actually going to go ahead and play this. This is a pretty cool little thing. Yeah, this guy was supposed to arrange a meeting. I'll read it to you just in case. But a key figure in the impeachment scandal claimed to possess evidence that raised concerns about Joe Biden and his family and the alleged wrongdoing in the Paul Manafort corruption case. Again, this information was all presented. They had memos that showed Little Rock, Arkansas lawyer Bud Cummins reached out at least 5 times in October 2018 to Berman. 5 times trying to seek and arrange a meeting with this Lucensko guy. The allegations included that Joe Biden had exercised influence to protect Burisma Holdings after his son and his son's business partner, Devin Archer, had joined the Ukrainian gas pump company board of directors for huge amounts of money. Again, a lot of information that is definitely going to lead to people seeing the truth about the corruption. Again, it's all about the people in the middle. You'd be surprised how many people are actually in the middle. The people on the left that you hear the most about, the crazy, crazy hardcore left side, are the loudest and the most vocal, but their numbers are not that big. Remember that. We are the numbers. We are what scares them. Us, the patriots, the people, Americans. We are what scare them. Post 4503. Got a cool little thing that I didn't even bother to open up. Let's do that. But it's worth remembering what happens when racists are running a supposed anti-racist organization. Now, racist, you could say it however you want. It doesn't matter. But what happens when racist people do that, and hatred, and you get violence that keeps getting pushed, you get destruction that keeps getting pushed, you get murder that keeps getting pushed, right? Not good. So division is pushed every election, every year, right? Every 4 years, we've got this insane division that happens every 4 years. It's what they're trying to push here. They're trying to point out the fact that before every election, they start this whole like racist, everyone's racist, white people suck, everyone, right? And it creates this animosity, it creates this division. And then they turn around and they'll blame Trump for the division. But the fact of the matter is, it's them. The Democrats cause so much of this division. That's what they want. They want us divided. They want us angry. And then they try to swoop in as the saviors of the world. So it's not working too well for them anymore because people are really starting to figure it out. So the question obviously is why? Why do they keep working like this? The political advantage to one party over another, which there is sort of a difference because generally speaking, the minority people who generally hate the majority race are the ones that typically are spoken to in this manner from the left's leadership. And so we get all these people fired up, and you got a lot of population base there, and basically bring them in to say, hey, we've got to vote for us, whatever, because we're here for you. But then it seems like when they get in office, they're not all that much there for them, right? You look at mayor and the governor of like Washington State and Seattle, right, and the crazy stuff that's going on there. Got some crazy stuff that's going on in Michigan, Detroit, New York. Like, we still got Washington, D.C. We've got stuff that's happening all over the place that's just out of control. So what if the D's never let go of the post-Civil War? What if they simply implemented a new form of control or ownership? Which, big time for those of you that really follow some of the crazy things that have happened with the government and our social security cards and all that. I'm not trying to go off into the weeds too much, but yeah, let's get into ownership a little bit. But knowledge is power, folks. The more we know about all this stuff, the better. Take ownership of yourself. Take ownership. It's your life. You were born with inalienable rights, with freedoms, to pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. Those are your rights, inalienable rights. Everyone's got them. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what. Don't give those rights away. Those are yours. They can't take them, really. Those were given to you by the Creator, not by them, not by government. Government's trying to take them from you. They do not give you rights. They do not give you anything. They taketh from you. Remember this. Big booms are coming. Things are happening. I know it doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough. You have to be patient and allow this to grow. It is the only way we're getting all the way to November and still managing to maintain people's attention, their energy, their willingness to help and participate. It's extremely important that we keep this moving in that direction. If you guys like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel. Please click the bell icon if you want to be notified of any of the videos I do. Also, if you can, like, thumbs up, and share my videos. That is truly the biggest way you can help this channel grow. And if you would like to donate, feel free. I always appreciate that. There's a PayPal link below as well. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. Be good to one another. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.